Morbid Maniacs, it's time for another spooky video. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be telling some scary stories to tell in the dark because, as you guys know, this was one of my favorite childhood books. I'm sure a lot of my subscribers have grew up reading those books. So today we're going to be telling the stories of The Red Spot and Room for One More. One night, a young girl was sleeping in her bed when a spider crawled across her face. It stopped for a few minutes on her left cheek, then it went on its way. When she woke up the next morning and looked in the mirror, she noticed a red spot on her cheek.
"What's this?"
she asked her mother.
"It looks like a spider bite."
Her mother replied.
"It will go away, just don't scratch it."
Soon the small red spot grew into a big red boil.
"Look at it now,"
the girl said.
"It's getting bigger." "That sometimes happens,"
her mother said.
"It's coming to a head."
In a few days, the red spot was even larger.
"Look at it now,"
the girl said.
"It hurts so much and it makes me look so ugly." "We'll have the doctor look at it,"
her mother said.
"Maybe it's infected."
But the doctor couldn't see the girl until the next day. That night, she decided to take a nice, relaxing bath. As she lay soaking in the warm water, the boil suddenly burst. Out poured a swarm of tiny spiders from the eggs their mother had laid in her cheek. It's the story of the red spot. That has always freaked me out. Like, I'm somebody who's always struggled with acne and you know, having like pimples and stuff, and always having a habit of picking them. And ever since I heard that story when I was a kid, I've always been petrified to pick my pimples, but somehow I still do, because I have like the biggest fear of spiders and just bugs in general. I do not like them. If that ever happened to me, you might as well just shoot me in the head, because there'd be no more. There was a young woman who had just started a new job in a large office building. She was walking to work one day when a long black hearse drove up slowly next to her, matching her pace. This made her nervous, and she anxiously watched it out of the corner of her eye. The driver leaned out the window and called to her in a deep, booming voice, "Do you need a lift?" She turned to look at him and got a terrible shock. The driver's face was incredibly hideous and deformed. His skin was a deathly pale, and one of his eyes was noticeably higher than the other. The man pointed to the rear of the vehicle, which contained a coffin. "Room for one more," he said. Frightened. Frightened by his bizarre appearance and unwelcome suggestion, she refused his offer of a lift. Profoundly disturbed, the woman ran down the street until she came to the office building where she worked. For the rest of the day, she couldn't stop thinking about the strange man in the hearse, and was glad when work finally was over. The woman worked up on the 9th floor, and when the elevator came, it was almost completely full. She hesitated a moment before stepping in. "Are you sure you don't want to come in?" asked a familiar, booming voice. "There's room for one more." The woman gasped. "It was the hearse driver from this morning. The woman gasped. It was the hearse driver from this morning, eyeing her with his lopsided, horrible gaze. Now thoroughly spooked, the woman backed away, stuttering,
I think I'll take the stairs."
The hearse driver just stared at her as the doors slid closed. The woman had only taken a few steps down the stairs when she heard a chorus of screams, followed by a deafening crash. She hurried downstairs and discovered the elevator cable had broken and all the passengers aboard had plunged to a grisly death. But there you guys go. What do you guys think of these creepy stories from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? What were your favorite stories growing up as a kid? Sorry, it's just not the same if you don't like make a voice with it, you know? My voice isn't dark, it isn't deep and whatever she described it as on there, so that's the reason why I did that. It's just not the same, because that's how I was always like taught those stories growing up. My mom would always tell us those stories using a different voice, especially the big toe one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become a Morbid Maniac. Also, be sure to head on over to my second channel, which is Mel Vlogs, right now as I'm filming this, but I do plan on changing the name of it very soon. But I just posted my first ASMR video on there, so if you're interested in that, please go on over and subscribe. And also be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And I love you guys to the moon and back, and I will see ya in the next one.